Sunday, March 30th, 2014. Coming to you from the beautiful University of South Florida campus in Tampa, it's USF Housing Live! Hello everyone, and welcome to the premiere broadcast of USF Housing Live. We are so glad you could be here to join us tonight. My name is Gregory Bowers, and I work with Housing and Residential Education here at the beautiful USF campus in Tampa, Florida. So we're so happy to have you, and of course we're going to have lots of opportunity for you to ask us questions, and we'll answer you right here live on the air. So first up, I want everyone to have a chance to meet our students. So let's go ahead and go on down the line there. So we'll start with Kervins. How about you introduce yourself and let us know a little bit more about who you are.
Hey everyone, I'm Kervins. I'm a junior here at USF studying cell and molecular biology. I am part of the biology club here on campus, as well as the cell, molecular, and microbiology club here on campus. And a little about me, I longboard around campus, usually a lot. I'm also an avid member within the rec center, just to be fit.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Katelyn. I'm a junior here at USF studying biomedical sciences and public health. I started at USF in spring 2013 as a transfer student. I have lived in Iota Hall, several of the residence halls on campus, Iota, Hawley Apartments. I currently live in Zeta. I'm a member of Phi Sigma Pi National Co-ed Honor Fraternity. I have worked for the housing office for about a year now, so I love answering your questions, whether it be in the office or on Facebook, and I'm very excited to be a resident assistant next year in COSOP Hall.
Hello everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm a senior studying civil engineering at USF. My ambition is ultimately to go into sustainable infrastructure. I'm currently the Director of Public Relations and Communications for Student Government, and I'm the Vice President of my fraternity. And in the past, I've been an RA on campus, I've been a student web designer for USF Housing, and I used to live in Poplar Hall and then in Maple Hall.
Hello, my name is Sandiana, and I'm a second-year student here at USF. I am studying literary studies and theater arts. I work for the housing department as a desk clerk, as well as the theater department as a student assistant. I am serving as the Director of Finance for the Residence Hall Association. In my free time, I love to read, and of course, like most students my age, I have a mild addiction to Netflix.
As do we all, Sandiana, as do we all. Well, thank you very much, students, and we're going to have some time with you at the second half of our program, but before that, we want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to ask us a question. So in order for us to respond to you, you need to actually type in the comments section whatever your question may be. So to help you out with that, just in case you don't know, we have prepared a short video for you that's going to take you through it. So we'll be right back after this. If you have a YouTube account, please take this time to sign in so you can post questions in the comments section during the show. Don't have a YouTube or Google account? Think again. Every USF student has a Google account. To get started, click the Sign In button. Next, type in your USF email address. Don't type in a password, just click the Sign In button. Then, you will be prompted with the USF NetID login screen. Type in your NetID and password, then click Sign In. Congratulations, you are now signed in to YouTube with your Google account. Now that you are signed in, please click the subscribe button. You can do this on our YouTube channel page or below the player on each video page. All right, welcome back everyone. So please take a time to log in and of course subscribe to our channel. Being the marketing guy, I've got to ask that. So please click subscribe so we can continue offering you programs like this throughout the summer and even into the year. So we now have our professional staff panel with us, and we're going to get started with Priscilla Childress from Parent and Family Programs. So take us away, Priscilla.
Hi everyone, welcome to our USF family. I'm Priscilla Childress, and I am the Director of Parent and Family Programs here at USF. And my claim to fame is that I'm the mother of two college students. One's a junior and one is in grad school. Here at USF, I'm the resource for your families as you make the transition into USF. I plan events for families such as Fall Family Weekend, Family Day at the Sun Dome. We have a newsletter which goes out once a month, and it has packed full of great information like housing dates that your students forget to tell you, dates about recruitment, fraternity and sorority life recruitment, all kinds of fun things like that. We also have a Facebook page, which is USF Parents. If you search on Facebook, we have a website, www.usf.edu/studentaffairs/parents. It's very interactive. It has a Ask Priscilla area where you can ask me questions and I'll interact back with you with the answers. We have all the events, all the information about our upcoming events, about the different programs that we have on campus. Plus we have other resources on the website that show where you can find the answers you might need about dining or about transportation, buying a parking pass, that kind of thing. Our office is here to help you as much as possible and to make the experience that your student has and that you have even better here at USF.
Great, thank you very much. Now we're going to go over to Viancca Williams to tell us a little bit about fraternity and sorority life.
Awesome. So good evening, everyone. My name is Viancca Williams, and I serve as the Interim Director of Fraternity and Sorority Life here at the University of South Florida. I've been a proud bull for over 7.5 years. In fact, I got my master's degree here, so it's a wonderful place to be, and I'm so excited that you are making the choice to come here to USF. Let me tell you a little bit about our fraternity and sorority community and what you can expect. Our office oversees the 44 organizations that call themselves fraternities and sororities here at USF. There are 4 governing councils where each organization reports to one of those. And that's kind of how you know which type of recruitment or intake process you will go through. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But we have about 7.5% of undergraduate students at the university are members of fraternities and sororities, which is really exciting because it makes a very large campus seem, smaller in a close-knit group of people that you can spend some time with. As far as what fraternity and sorority life has to offer you, there's quite a few things. First of all, it provides you an opportunity to really develop who you are personally as well as professionally. We do a lot of things that provide you an opportunity to practice what you're learning inside the classroom, outside of the classroom. So it's like a learning laboratory. The other great thing about it, though, is the friendships and the relationships that you build not only within your fraternity or sorority, but also throughout the university as you get involved. As you engage with different faculty and staff and alumni of the university. Another great thing about fraternity and sorority is the service and philanthropic work that we do. Every single fraternity or sorority asks that you give back to the community in some way through hours, but also through philanthropic work and money that they raise for different charities across Tampa Bay and the nation. And my favorite thing, honestly, about fraternity and sorority is the fact that it just challenges you to be a better person. Here at USF, we have 14 organizations that are housed in our Greek village, which is really exciting, and 1 organization that is housed in a floor in Cypress Hall, right across from the Greek village. Why should you use USF? And why is USF an amazing institution? There's a lot of reasons. One, it's the diversity. There are people that not only not look like you, but also people who you can engage with and have different conversations with and learn more about yourself and about others. It's also, because it's an up-and-coming institution, it provides you an opportunity to have a say on what are campus traditions like, or what do you want the USF experience to be like. We are very much about creating traditions and making sure that we're engaging the student body in that process. Another great reason why USF is great is because of the level of opportunities that it has available to you. So in your academic experience, there's lots of internships, and there's lots of research that you can be involved in. But there's also the things that are happening outside of the classroom, like fraternity and sorority life, that can help you to practice those skills, but also to just learn more about yourself and become a better person. And last but not least, the greatest thing about USF is the people. The fact is, you have people who care about you, that work for the university, your professors care about you, and then the students here care about you. We are a tight-knit community, and we want you to excel. What I'm excited to let you know about is that not only can the university offer that, but fraternity and sorority is also a great place where you can get all of that and more.
Great, thank you very much, Viancca. And last but certainly not least, we have Mr. David Kloiber, our Assistant Director of Assignments in Housing and Residential Education.
Thank you, Greg. I'd like to welcome you, and hopefully from Florida and around the world, to USF. My name is David Kloiber. I'm the Assistant Director for Assignments. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about what does the Assignment Office do for our students, and how can we help you become a bull and become successful as a bull. The Assignments Office is staffed by excellent staff, both professional and student staff. And you've already met one of my student staff members, and she's done a great job over the last year. But the Assignment Office really is here to, we're the first part of the housing office that really will work with our students to talk to them about how to apply for housing, how to get their first housing assignment, and what to bring to campus to be successful. Now, our application process is all online. It's, I think, a very easy process to navigate, and we've been doing upgrades to our system to make it even easier. And the application process basically has about 4 basic steps. You've got your step where you put in some information about your billing address, your emergency contact information, your missing student contact information, and how you're going to pay for housing. Then you're going to select or preference who you want to live with. And we ask 5 basic questions about you if you don't know someone who you want to live with. The first question is, do you smoke? The second question is, will you live with a smoker? The third question is, are you a neat person? Do you like your room cold? And then we finish up with, are you a night person? Now, it's really important to answer all these questions honestly, because we're going to try and use these questions in order to match you with someone we find we hope will be most compatible. And about 95% of those matches are very successful, but there is one very important portion in all of that, and that's you. You need to be very open to the wide range of people that you're going to meet here at USF. We have students from over 40 countries and students from most of the states in the United States. So we have a very diverse campus here at USF, and we're very proud of that. Now, once you do your housing application, you're going to be asked to submit a $50 application fee and a $200 prepayment. There are some opportunities to request a deferment of the application fee, so you can pay it at a later date, and a waiver of the $200 prepayment, and those forms are located in the same section of our website that the application is. In addition to obtain your housing assignment, which we will begin doing for our first-year students in mid-May, we'll ask you to submit all your required immunizations, and for our resident students, those immunizations include the meningitis vaccine. Please make sure that you have it after or on your 16th birthday. If you have it before your 16th birthday, you're going to need to get a booster. In addition, you'll need to either show proof of vaccination for hepatitis B, or show that you, or sign on the health history form that you decline the hepatitis B vaccine. You do have that choice. And then if you're a student who, at the time of application, is living out of the United States, you'll be asked to complete a tuberculosis screening, and you can get all the information on all these vaccines from the Student Health website. In addition, we'll then require that you submit your meal plan if you haven't done so already through the application. And for all of our first-year students who are going to live on campus, you are required to do a meal plan. And then finally, we ask you to register and reserve your space for orientation. That's an important part because that shows that you're going to be coming to USF and that we're going to be holding a bed for you when we assign you a room. Now, we do have a first-year live-on requirement. And that requirement basically states that any first-time in college student, that's any student who has not taken 12 or more credits after high school, and that's very important, after high school graduation, is considered a first-time in college student. And so those students would be required to live on campus. Every first-time in college student is required to live on campus unless they can obtain an exemption. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the exemption is. The exemption is essentially, you have 4 basic exemption allowances. The first one is you're 21 years or older. The second one is you're married. We only have 9 family apartments on campus. So if you are married and you want to live on campus as a first year or a first time college student, we do welcome you to try and get into one of our limited number of apartments for families. In addition, if you're caring for a dependent, again, you could live in one of those family units. But at this point, again, you'd have to request one of those. And then finally, if you're living in Hillsborough, Pasco, or Pinellas County with your parent or guardian in their permanent home or residence. The reason we have this exemption or this requirement is so that is because research has shown that the student success rate is much higher to graduate, and also for you parents out there who are going to be helping your student pay for college, they also tend to graduate faster, and so that means less years at the university and less years of billing, which is a great thing for both your student and for you. And USF, I believe, in the last month or so, and was indicated that the graduation rate has gone up 25% since that program had started, since the requirement has started. And it could be attributed to the living learning communities that we have here at USF, but also for this requirement. Greg?
All right, well, thank you, Dave. I'm not sure of the number, but we'll have to look into that. It's definitely, I know that USF had the largest increase in graduation rates in the state of Florida. So that was very incredible and just wonderful news for us to learn. So coming up next, we are going to have some time to answer more questions. We have received word that there have been a few audio issues, so we might take a little bit longer break than anticipated just to make sure that's all working out okay for you. So we're going to have a short video, and we'll be back right after this.
In a world where there's no YouTube, where people don't know how to do their laundry,
I can't reach the button.
where people don't know how to find housing, where people don't know how to get their mail, where people don't know how to get along with their roommates. Subscribe to our channel, because there's more to YouTube than just cats.
All right, so we are back. Welcome. And of course, yes, there is much more to YouTube than just cats. So please, please subscribe to our channel. All right, so I've got a question here from Rebecca, and this looks like it might be a Dave question. Rebecca is asking, how many years do most people live on campus, and how many years are you allowed to do so? So Dave?
Rebecca, that's a great question. We do have about 40% of our students who live in housing each year that are returning for a second, third, fourth, sometimes even a fifth year. And so we do encourage our students to live on campus as long as they desire. And ideally, we are working toward having more space on campus, and that's something we are looking at for the future. But right now, we do have the capacity to meet all the demand that we have.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Dave. So another question. This is probably another Dave question. So camera, let's just go right on back over to Dave there. So Dave, we have Taylor asking, when will we know if we got into any LLCs, that is living learning communities?
That's a great question. Living learning communities are a great option here at USF. You can gain a lot of personal knowledge and skills by participating in a living learning community. The process for getting into living learning communities can be very competitive, especially depending on which one you're applying to. But I would imagine that you'll know within the next month, month and a half, whether or not you get in. And as soon as we get that information here in the office, we'll work on trying to assign you to that living learning community. And so we actually may know before you, but we'll get you into that building. If you're admitted into the learning community, you're going to get into that learning community.
Great, thank you, Dave. And guess what, folks? We probably have another Dave question for you. Now, this is our life in the housing office, is we have a lot of Dave questions. So, Dave, Rebecca would like to know, I am attending orientation on the same day as move-in day. So I'd like to move in early. How do I go about doing so?
Okay, that's a great question. The orientation office will have more information on moving in early, but essentially we will be prepared for those who are participating in the orientation session that will be on or during move-in to accept them the day earlier. But please contact our office. We'll provide more information on how to get that. It'll be a little easier to work with you individually. And we are looking into an opportunity to possibly post a form online so that all of our students can request it via the online form, and so there won't be any confusion about whether or not they've been approved for that early arrival.
All right, great. Thank you, Dave. Another question here. Oh, this might be a Dave question yet again. It's the Dave hour, folks. So here we are. This question's about immunizations. So, oh, I lost it. So Ashley would like to know, she asks, on my Oasis, it shows yes for all of my immunizations except for meningitis. Do I have to sign something still?
It's not so much that you'd have to sign something on your student health history form. It's that possibly there wasn't a stamp for your meningitis on the information that was sent to the student health office. So I would encourage you to contact the student health office either via email or over the phone. Unfortunately, I don't have that information with me as to what their email or phone number is. But please look on the website. Our website shows on the resources page the health history form, which has all their contact information at the bottom. And so I encourage you to contact them early so that your application will be all complete, your assignment status will be ready to go, so that we can assign you in our first round of assignments, again, in early to mid-May.
All right, great, thank you. And of course, we're going to have many more Dave questions coming up, but I also want to let all of our viewers know that we do have our resources here. We have Priscilla from Parent and Family Programs, so any parents watching, you want to know how you can be better connected to the experience here with your student at campus, please ask away. It's great that we have Priscilla with us, and Viancca knows everything about going Greek, about our fraternity and sorority life. And I remember we saw in our Facebook group with 2018 a number of Greek questions coming in. So if you had those questions in your head, please put them on YouTube and we'll be happy to answer those for you right now. So here we go with one more Dave question. So Juan would like to know, what's the difference between a double room and a corner double room?
You're talking, we have 2 or 3 buildings with that kind of option available. We have Cypress Hall, both A and B, and we also have Juniper and Poplar Halls. The difference is essentially a suite in one of those 3 buildings, or 4 buildings actually, will have 2 double bedrooms with a shared bath. Now in the corner room, this is what makes everybody want it, it's only 1 double room with a bath. And so you're not sharing your bathroom with another room. And so you have a little bit more privacy.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you. And guess what? We're going to give 4 stars to Lynette for asking our first Greek question. So we're coming to you, Viancca. We have a Greek question for you. So the question is, do we need a recommendation letter to join a sorority? And if not, is it strongly recommended to get one?
So we here at the University of South Florida are an institution where recommendation letters is not something that you need in order to get into a sorority. It is something that's great because it provides that sorority an opportunity to understand who you are prior to the sorority recruitment process. But no, it is not absolutely needed. It's just something good to have as a preview of who you are. The sorority recruitment process allows you an opportunity to really have a conversation with the women that are in sororities, to have them understand who you are, but also for them to tell you who they are. And so that is a great way for them to get to know you as well.
Great, thank you, Viancca. I appreciate that. Actually, I have a question. I'm going to jump in since I'm the host, and I think I get to do that. So I got a Priscilla question I would love to ask, and that is about Parent and Family Weekend. I know that comes up. Can you tell us a little bit about when that is and how parents will find out about that?
Yes, that's a great question. It's about 6 months from now, actually. It should be about the end of September. It's normally 5 to 6 weeks after the start of the school, of the first of the semester. It's a great weekend for you to bring your families back to campus. And by families, I mean aunts, uncles, grandparents, moms, dads, next door neighbors, whoever you want to bring them to campus. We have lots of activities planned. It is a weekend packed full. We have canoeing and rock climbing and ropes course. We have rappelling off the ROTC building. We have meet and greets with our professional staff. We have a family game night. We have karaoke, and that, let me tell you, it's fun to see families doing karaoke. I did that last year, won't be doing that again. We just have all kinds of great activities, and we encourage you to bring your families, come and have fun, and see what your student is seeing.
Great. Thank you very much, Priscilla. Thank you. So we had another question come in, and this is a pretty common one. So Gary would like to know, how long until I know who my roommates are? So is this a Dave question? I think yes. Dave, take it away.
All right. Really, it depends on when your roommate is actually assigned. Now, when we do our first round of assignments, typically we get anywhere from 1,600 to 1,800 students assigned in that day. And so with that, typically you will have a roommate assigned to you at that point. And as soon as the assignment's done, you can see it online, right where you did your housing application. And so all that information is there and available. And if your roommate has indicated that it's okay to share their information, which is part of the housing application, then the roommate's contact information, their email, their name, will be visible to you so that you can contact that roommate and then talk to them about what you're going to bring, what I'm going to bring. You don't need 2 refrigerators, you don't need 2 microwaves in your room. So talk about all those items, because 2 55-inch TVs won't fit in your room. But it's going to be a great opportunity for you to learn about your roommate. Now,
Students, if you happen to bring an extra 55-inch television set, I work right here in the housing office. Just bring it on by. I'm just, I'm trying to be sustainable. I don't want them to throw it out. So I will work right here. You're welcome to donate it to the Greg Bowers cause. We have a question for Viancca coming up. And so this is a good one. So what Emily would like to know is, what actually happens in a sorority?
Very cool. So I'm actually going to go ahead and say both fraternities and sororities, because some of the activities are very similar. Basically, the whole notion of it is about providing an opportunity for you to learn about yourself and explore your values through the values of each fraternity and sorority. A lot of people, when they think of fraternities and sororities, they think of parties and like all the social scene, but there's so much more to it than what stereotypically people think about when they think of a fraternity or sorority. And so what happens is we do have opportunities for that community service and philanthropic piece. Every single one of our organizations does community service, and then they also have some sort of charity or philanthropic cause that they each adopt and raise money for or awareness for, which is really cool. There's also a lot of leadership development that happens in fraternities and sororities, and so not only do you have an opportunity to hold positions within each fraternity and sorority, there's lots of committee positions and executive board positions, but there's also the opportunity to actually have educational sessions of people coming in and helping you understand how to be a better leader and what leadership is all about. There's also this whole piece of sisterhood and brotherhood activities, and so that can range anywhere from different retreats where you can go canoeing or paintballing to going to, there's a local trampoline place here on campus, or not on campus, off campus, and so a lot of people and a lot of our fraternities and sororities also enjoy that.
Great, Viancca, we've actually got a little follow-up for you.
Yeah,
So we're gonna send it on back over to Viancca there. Stefan would like to know, if I'm in an LLC, specifically the Bulls business community, can I still join a fraternity? Do you happen to know that?
Absolutely. So here's the thing. One of the wonderful things about fraternity and sorority is that it teaches you how to balance all of the things that are coming across to you as a student, and then you can take that to you with the professional world too. And so yes, by any means, if you're part of an LLC, please join a fraternity or sorority. If you're in a sports club, or if you're an athlete, join a fraternity or sorority. We would love to have you. The fact of the matter is, we don't restrict membership based on what other parts you are involved in. The things that we're looking for are people who will excel academically, people who are willing to do the community service and do the philanthropic work, and people who just want to make themselves better. And so that's what we're here for, and that's what we want to provide. So by all means, please come on in. Can I actually add something to that? A lot of people ask, can I join my first year? Yes, you can join your first semester. For the most part. There are some organizations that do have requirements of at least 12 credit hours or more to join those organizations. So one of my questions to you would be to go ahead and make sure you're asking those questions as you're getting to know fraternities and sororities, so you can understand which organization is going to be right for you.
Great, thank you, Viancca. Reminding all our viewers at home, we have about 5 minutes left for our professional staff questions. So if there's anything that's burning in your head, take those inside words and let them out. And please ask them on YouTube. So we've got a question here from Ashley asking, is it required to live in sorority housing if you belong to one? Viancca?
So, fraternity, not every single fraternity and sorority has a house. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And that does not diminish the experience at all if there is no house. But if you do join a sorority or a fraternity that does have a house, there are some housing requirements. Now, the sororities and fraternities, for the most part, are bigger than the amount of beds that are in each house. And so what that'll end up looking like is more than likely if you're an officer or if it's written in the bylaws of the organization that you have to live in the house over a certain amount of time, that kind of thing, the sorority or the fraternity will let you know. But again, as you're going through the recruitment processes, I suggest that you ask those questions because it's important for you to make an informed choice.
Great, thank you, thank you. So it looks like we've got another Dave question coming our way here. Cameron would like to know, how does the transition from summer bee housing to fall housing work? Will I need to leave campus for a while?
Well, that's a great question. We do offer what we call break stay housing, and so you would have an opportunity to move to your fall assignment and stay on campus during the break, or go home if you want to during the break. But if you do make that transition to your fall assignment, you would be charged for those extra days as part of the break stay housing fee. Our break stay housing fees will be $25 a night, so it's certainly a lot cheaper than, let's say, a hotel. But it also gives you the opportunity to not have to bring your stuff home and then bring it all back about 10 days later, actually. And so we do encourage our students to take that opportunity. And because we're doing our fall assignments typically before we do our summer assignments for our first time in college students, we do try with all of our efforts to try and put you into the same room for the summer that you're in for the fall. And so if you're in juniper, poplar, or magnolia for the summer bee term, then hopefully we can get you into the same room for your summer bee that you're in for the fall in summer bee.
Great, thank you, Dave. One more Dave question here. Isabel would like to know, do international students get to move into the housing they applied for on August 17th, even though that's the day the International Student Orientation begins?
Okay. We're doing a new week of early arrival for our international students, and if you haven't heard about that already, you will hear about that soon from our offices of orientation and from our offices of international student services. But they're working in conjunction with housing and with a number of other offices all across campus, including dining and a few more that I can't remember off the top of my head. But we've been meeting now for a few months now to talk about how do we make that process better for you as an international student. You're coming from a great distance and you're learning a lot of things new for the first time. And so there's a transition time that may be a little bit longer for you. And so we're going to try and make that better for you. But yes, you'll be able to move in. Matter of fact, we allow all of our students to move in as early as the 17th. But we do want to caution them that there are extra fees associated with moving in early. And for some of you, depending on what program you're in, you may need to move in that early. And so that option is available.
Great, thank you, Dave. So we have time for one last question from our professional staff, and it's going to go to Viancca. So you are the big winner. Big W going to Viancca, and our question is from Claire. Claire would like to know, where can I find information about the different sororities and what they're about?
Awesome. So we have sororities in 3 of our governing councils. The first governing council is our Panhellenic Association, and the way that you find out information about the 9 organizations that are part of that is www.usfpanhellenic.com. The second governing council, we have 4 sororities in that council, and that's our National Panhellenic Council. It is also known as the Divine Nine, which are traditionally African American fraternities and sororities. And you can find information about that on our website. It's usfgreeklife.com. And then our last council that has sororities is our Multicultural Greek Council, and that has a total of 9 sororities. And again, you can find information about those 9 sororities at usfgreeklife.com. In fact, those of you who want to join fraternities, you can find information about the fraternities that we have on that campus on that website as well. Again, that's usfgreeklife.com.
Great, thank you very much, Viancca. So I just want to say thank you very much to all of our professional staff for joining us tonight. That does conclude the professional staff portion of our program. And next up, we want to show you a short video because for many of you, the roommate experience will be new, and there are many elements to living with a roommate, and we want to make that work, and you want it to be successful. So we've prepared a short video that's on our YouTube channel, available to see anytime. But we're going to go ahead and play that for you right now, and we'll be right back after this.
When you first move in, make sure to spend some time going over your roommate agreement contracts. This is when you can lay down some basic ground rules. Be conscious of your roommate's sleep schedule. This includes naps in the middle of the day. In fact, posting a weekly schedule can help a great deal in being aware of each other. When your roommate's sleeping, be aware of your noise level. Grumpy roommates are no fun. Be sure to talk to your roommate about your space. Some people don't like strangers sitting on their bed. Before you're sure of what music your roommate listens to, be careful how obnoxiously you dance. It is always a good idea to conference with your roommate about any relationships as well. This can help avoid some uncomfortable situations. Leaving food out also is a big pet peeve of many people. Be aware of the repercussions this may have. It is always a good idea to clean up any mess you make. Make sure to lock your door whenever you enter or exit your space. One of the biggest issues roommates have with getting along is directly talking to each other about issues. Posting sticky notes might not be the best approach. Agree on a good room temperature. Delegate chores, because working together on separate tasks for a common goal is very productive. Practice personal hygiene. No one likes a smelly roommate. If you and your roommate have an issue, talk with each other. If things don't go as well as you would like, then contact your RA. Talking to each other can be one of the best ways to avoid passive-aggressive tendencies and a great way to bond. Remember the golden rule. Treat others as you would like them to treat you. For more information, please visit our website at usf.edu/housing.
All right, welcome back. So actually, we have a featured voice talent with us today. So the narrator of that video is none other than the amazingly talented Sandiana Merville. So we're going to go ahead and meet our students, and they're each going to share a little bit about why they chose USF. So Sandiana, how about you go ahead and get us started?
Hello, I'm Sandiana, and the reason that I chose USF is because it had a very affordable financial aid package. It had just an amazing environment that I really loved. Both the programs that I wanted to study, literary studies and theater arts, they had very good professors, so I honestly really wanted to study here. It also, I just really, really, really loved how everyone interacted. It was exciting, and I just loved it.
Great, thank you. All right, so we're going to send it on down to Joseph. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and of course, why did you choose USF?
Okay, so hello. My name is Joseph. My reason for choosing USF is quite simple. When I was in high school, I applied to 9 universities in total. When I narrowed it down to my top 2, I took a look at the different programs that were offered, the ability to get involved with student organizations, the tuition, cost of living, everything in general, and by a clear mile, USF kind of stood out as the best value and the most worthwhile, and so I just chose that and ran with it.
Great, and now we're down to Katelyn.
All right, well, when I was in my college search, unfortunately, I didn't choose to be a bull at first. So I
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
I know. I attended a different university my freshman year and then transferred here in spring 2013. And I have to say it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So firstly, one of the reasons that I chose USF is that it just has a great program for my major. I'm majoring in biomedical sciences and public health. And USF has a fantastic program for any sciences, any of you STEM majors out there. It's fantastic. We're one of the top research universities in the state of Florida. So there's great opportunities for undergraduate research. Secondly, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. But, oh, yes, I'm so sorry. I love USF because although we are a newer university, I don't think that's a downfall of USF. Many other universities out there have made their history, and we've had time since the 1950s when USF was founded to get established and have great programs, but we also are still making our history, so it's great to be a part of that.
Great, thank you. And last but certainly not least, let's hear from Kervins.
All right, great. Likewise, just like Katelyn, I am also majoring in the sciences. I'm a biology major. But that was not quite the first reason why I chose USF. I chose USF, the first reason why was because of the weather. I am from Miami, and I hate cold. Anything cold, I hate it. And USF, the weather here was similar to Miami. Tropical, very nice and warm, never cold, love it. But also the second reason that I did chose USF did go into my major because I am studying biology. I do plan on becoming a doctor. And the hospitals around here, Tampa General, the VA Hospital, Shriners, lots of hospitals where I could go in and job shadow, which is lovely. And one of the last reasons why I chose USF was because of the culture. When I came in for orientation, never have I saw a culture like the one that I did. Students all over wearing USF shirts, hats, gear, whatever it may be, apparel, and just supporting Bulls however they can.
Great, thank you, Kervins, thank you. And guess what? It looks like we have a question for me. So Tops would like to know, do we get any kind of confirmation for Bull Hall or signing up the end of it? So no signing up to be a volunteer, that's just the application portion. Of course, if you do apply, just saying www.usf.edu/housing, go there, you'll see the link for the Bull Hall application right on our homepage. You can apply now. And if you apply now, you're in pretty good shape to get it. So we accept about 700 volunteers who all assist on grand opening day. The majority of those volunteers are first-year students. They love it. We have some fun surprises for you in the days leading up to Bull Hall, so it's a great time. If you're interested, check it out on our website, but we will send you a confirmation in July. So you'll get an email letting you know if you are in Bull Hall in July, so I know we have a number of months until we're there, but that will be coming. So if you haven't applied, what are you waiting for? Apply right now. Well, wait, apply until after the broadcast, of course, right, folks? After that. So we've got a great question that also just came in. And Quinlan would like to know, during which breaks is the on-campus housing closed? So Katelyn, do you want to field that one for us?
Sure. Okay, so the residence halls at USF actually stay open for most of the year. So during spring break, for example, we were open if there's a random holiday like Labor Day or Veterans Day or something, a 3-day weekend, we're still open. The main one that we close on is during winter break, so it's from about the middle of December to the beginning of January. Most students are required to go home at that time or leave their room. We do have some residence halls, though, that stay open during that time. So if you will require housing during that time, you can just let us know, and we'll make sure that you're in a residence hall that allows that. And just so you know, there are some additional fees for that because it is outside of the general terms of the contract. And then we also have a week between spring housing and summer housing where we do close. And again, break stay is generally available for that as well.
Great, thank you very much, Katelyn. So we just got a question here. Melanie would like us to explain a little bit about orientation. So what is that experience like? Who'd like to field that one? Someone from down at the end there? Want to tell us about orientation, what it's like, what to expect? Looks like it's Sandiana, okay. Sandiana, tell us a little bit about what is orientation in general.
Okay, USF's orientation usually takes place during 2 days. You'll usually be given an orientation team leader, and they're very exciting, and they're trained to know like basically everything there is to know about USF. Lunch is provided, breakfast is provided, as well as you're able to stay on campus. However, your parents, if they do decide to come, will have to stay at a hotel. It's just very exciting. You get to go on a tour of USF. If you're available, you can go on a housing tour and see the different residence halls that we have available here. There's just a lot of exciting opportunities that you get to have, and you just get to learn everything there is about USF.
Great, thank you, Sandiana. And another question to send out to all of you there. Kay Dark and Lovely would like to know about on-campus jobs. So who wants to field that? Tell us a little bit about how to get a job as a student. How does campus employment work? If you know anything about federal work study, who'd like to take that? Tell us about working on campus. Sandiana?
Oh, okay.
You can keep the mic. Let's hear from Sandiana.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty qualified for this question, seeing as I do hold two positions at USF. I work for the housing department as a mail clerk and a desk clerk. I also work for the Department of Theater and Dance as a student assistant, and that particular job is a federal work-study job. Federal work-study jobs work in the sense that financial aid gives you a certain amount of money per semester, and with that amount of money, you're able to go ahead and apply for federal work-study jobs. Federal work-study jobs usually are paid slightly higher than a normal student staff position. They're actually very, very nice because they're structured so that you can actually study while you're working. The workload is fairly light, and the hours are flexible as well because they realize that that you are a student and you have to study and you have outside activities as well. That's about it.
All right, great, thank you. So someone did ask, Lynette would like to know, how do you apply for a job on campus? So how does that work? Katelyn?
Okay, so
All right.
you can apply for a job on all the jobs on campus. You apply online. We actually have a whole student employment system. I believe it's usf.edu/employment or career.usf.edu. It's one of those. If you search employment at USF on Google, then you can find it. There's a website you can log in, and all the positions on campus are posted. It will list any requirements, such as some jobs require that you have federal work study, and then all the application is in there. You can answer the questions, upload your resume, and you'll usually get an email back if they want to interview you or anything like that.
Great, thank you, thank you. So Sally has asked us, she's going to major in bio. Are all the classes related to sciences, or do we get electives too? Kervins?
Awesome. I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
All right, coming right at you. So Sally's going to major in biology. So are all the classes related to sciences, or are there also electives?
All the classes aren't related to science. We do have electives. Personally, last semester, my electives included, I believe, literature, the Black experience, 20th century American culture. So you get different choices towards the electives that you want to choose. And you also get your core classes within bio. They add a little chemistry in there as well, add a little physics in there as well. You get where I'm coming from. During orientation, you actually will choose your classes, and you will have someone help you choose your classes as well.
Great, thank you, Kervins, thank you. So we have another question here from Ashley. Did any of the students participate in Camp U? But I don't think there was Camp U when you were incoming students, was there? No? Yes, it was?
Never heard of it.
You were able to participate? So I'm sorry we don't have any Camp U folks, but I can tell you everyone loves it, and there are never enough spots for everyone who wants to do it. So definitely apply to Camp U. If you have the opportunity and the means to do that, please take advantage of that experience. And don't worry, you can do Camp U and Bull Hall. So it's been worked out nicely. You'll get back right in time for some cool Bull Hall surprises we have planned for you. So I got a question in here about roommates. So how does changing your roommate work? Let's say it's not working out, and I have a follow-up for that, but how does that roommate process work if you want to make a switch?
Okay, I found living on campus for 2 years that usually most roommates are actually fairly nice and you'll usually get along. But in the off case that you find that you cannot do so, the housing department does have a room change request form online that you can go ahead and fill out. And usually you'll just state a reason and you just fill it out. And your RA will be informed, and if your RA can sort of mitigate the situation, make it a little bit better, they'll try. But if that can't happen, of course, you will get a notice that where your new residence hall will be.
Great, thank you, Sandiana. And one thing I just want to add on to that, because I've had this question before. No, you cannot move your roommate out of your room. So I've had that question before, and a request has come in and they've said, well, how do I just pick up the roommate and move them elsewhere? It doesn't work that way. But we have resident assistants in place who can really help you navigate any challenges that you might have. Because for many of us, it is a new experience to have a roommate, and we want you to get along. And remember, a stranger is just a friend you haven't met. So definitely utilize your RA if you have any challenges, and they can help you navigate that. They're wonderful people. So we have a question here from Darian wanting to know, who do you room with at orientation? Coming to Kervins.
All right, who do you room with at orientation? At orientation, I guess you room with a stranger, but like Greg just said,
They're almost a friend. You just haven't met them, right?
Exactly. So you room with other freshmen that are coming in, others at the orientation with you, other excited students. Does anyone else want to add a little bit onto this?
It's just people in your orientation. So you'll get to meet them and meet, again, like he said, a new friend, and just start out that experience for your first year.
Great, great. Thank you.
It's fun.
So here's a great question from Eudenia. And the question is, how was the transition into the college lifestyle like? So basically wanting to know, what is it like? What were the challenges in terms of transitioning from high school to college? So what was that like for each of you? We'll go right on down the line here from each of you.
Okay, I'll go first. For me, the transition, I guess it was sort of difficult because that's the first time ever I was on my own. But overall, I enjoyed it because I was not alone. I was with other students going through the same process, and my RA, for the most part, helped me out a lot. Our residential assistants, they're always available, have lots of programs available, and they try to get the whole community involved to the best of their abilities.
As Kervin said, I do agree. Sometimes the transition from high school to college life is a little bit difficult just because there's so many things that you're getting used to, but it's also amazing. It's just, there are so many new experiences and it's really fun. You have to get used to being on your own and being away from your parents. Like Kervin said, that's a little bit difficult because you have to make sure that you're cooking for yourself or eating at our great dining halls on campus. They make that easy for you. You have to make sure you're doing your laundry. You have to learn how to get along with a roommate, all of those things. But the thing is, as Kervin's also said, we have a lot of great programs and activities to get involved in on campus. So you get to jump in. You're studying what so hopefully something that you love once you've chosen your major, and you get to get involved with all the clubs and activities on campus. And you do have a little bit more freedom. I know some of you are getting ready to enjoy that. So.
Okay, for me, I mean, moving onto campus for the first time, I actually enjoyed it. I was excited for it. I couldn't wait. My parents are great and all, but I graduated. I was ready to move on. I was ready to jump into college. And it was surreal at first. I think as far as college experience in general, the only obstacles I kind of encountered were making sure I would wake up on time for classes. Some semesters my earliest class would be at 11:50 a.m. Some semesters my earliest class would be at 7:30 a.m. So it was just a matter of making sure I was able to manage my time and wake up for classes, because that's important.
I could definitely agree. I've experienced where, when I was living at home, my parents sort of woke me up in the morning when I had to go to classes. And once I came to college, I had to get up by myself. And that took a little bit of getting used to. Alarms do help. My transition, it was very interesting. It was exciting, it was scary, it was interesting, but in the end, I was just very, very, very happy. I gained a newfound sense of independence that I wouldn't have had if I were just to stay at home and commute. I found that the workload was a little bit challenging for me because in high school, it was just a little bit easier for me. However, I did reach out for my advisors, and they helped me to put me in contact with tutoring services. And tutoring services really, really helped me to do better academically in my courses.
Great. Thank you very much. So we have a question here asked, do you stay in your residence hall at orientation? So I think I can field that one. You will not everyone will be staying in their assignment, of course, because buildings are allocated for different purposes over the summer. But I believe, and I've got Dave off camera there, but I believe they can stay. They will move into their fall assignment if they come to the last two orientations, right? Just one, the last orientation. Okay, thank you, Dave. There are always Dave questions, and don't worry, keep them coming. We will keep Dave here as long as we need to answer those Dave questions. We've got time for a few more questions here. And we have this question from Rigo who wants to know, do we have a deadline to apply for housing? So that sounds like a Katelyn question. Let's hear from her.
All right, well, there's good news. We actually don't have a deadline to apply for housing, but we do encourage you to apply as soon as possible. That's going to make everything easier just for you, first of all, to make sure you have everything done as soon as possible so that we can try and get you in the first round of assignments. And it also makes it a little bit easier for us so that, again, we can tell you where your housing assignment is going to be, hopefully in that first round of assignments. So, again, if something comes up, maybe you meet one of our exemption requirements, but then later you decide, oh, hey, I don't want to commute, I want to live on campus. Well, you can still do that because you won't be past the deadline. But again, if you are definitely planning on living on campus, please apply as soon as possible.
Great, thank you, and thank you very much. That does do it for all the time for our student panel questions. There are so many questions coming at us. I'm sorry that we can't answer all of them. But remember, if you're an incoming freshman student, you just want to go to the USF Class of 2018 Facebook group. I'm there. A lot of us are there. Katelyn, Kervins, we see in there. Sandiana, Joseph, you're next. He's going to be joining us in the 2018 group. You can ask us questions in there as well. So we have a short video we're going to show you, and we'll be right back after this. All right, here we are, everyone. So that is the conclusion of our program. We'd like to say a special thank you to all of you for watching and joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to serve you in this capacity. Also, a special thank you to all of our students here, our crew. Special thank you to Anna Hernandez, our Assistant Vice President for Housing and Residential Education, for letting us do this tonight. We've had a great time. We'd like to thank you very much. Remember, our motto is best place to live, best place to work, and best place to learn. Remember, if it's green and gold, it's great. Thank you very much. Go Bulls!